Hey, what's going on, Champ Squad? My name is Vinsanity if you guys are new, and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today's vid is going to be a pretty detailed, advanced movement guide for controller players. I plan on, in this tutorial, covering a few different movement techniques, including wall bouncing, super gliding, super jumping on zip lines, bunny hopping, and zipline dancing. I'd say some of these movements can be pretty difficult if you've never done them before, but I'm going to try my best to break down the mechanics and the inputs for each movement, and also show the movement in both first and third person in the firing range. On the screen now, I'm going to put this timestamps for each part of the tutorial. That way if you want to skip to a particular movement and just focus on learning that one, you can do so. Alright, so first up, the easiest movement on this list that you guys probably already know how to do is to wall bounce or wall jump. And for this movement, all you're going to want to do is go approach a wall or some sort of object like this, these gun holders in the firing range, and you're going to want to slide jump into them. And then as soon as you make contact with them, you're going to press jump. So you can, if you just move up to them and press jump like this, you'll see that it pushes you away. So that's kind of the basis for all these wall bounces or wall jumps. So you're going to want to approach, slide into it, then jump, and as you hit it, tap, jump, and it'll kind of catapult you forward. Another thing you want to realize is you're going to have to put your left stick in the direction you're trying to slide jump or wall bounce into. So if you're approaching an object on your right, so like this wall coming up here, if I'm approaching this object on my right, I'm going to want to point my stick to the left as I hit that wall bounce, so as I make contact with the object. So this is a pretty easy movement to get the hang of. I'm just showing you guys in third person here. It might help to get into third person in the firing range and practice wall bouncing in that. I think it's helped me a little bit. But again, you just want to slide jump into an object, and you can either spam jump as you are approaching it or just tap jump once just as you hit the object, and you're going to want to point your left stick in the opposite direction. Alright, so on to the next movement, either super jumping or bouncing on zip lines. I've heard it called both things. You're going to want to put a horizontal zip line across the firing range like I have here. And the key to this movement is timing. What you want to do is press square or interact, and then double tap jump immediately right after you press interact. So square, double tap jump, square, double tap jump. You'll get it most of the time. I'm still not 100% on it, but I feel like I get it like 4 out of 5 times now, at least 2 out of 3 times. And the easiest way to practice is to have this horizontal zip line out in the firing range like I do here. And it's definitely easier if you have paddles. So for me, I just press square and then I double tap my jump paddle. If you don't have paddles, you're probably going to want to play in some sort of custom loadout that lets you press interact and then jump right after it. I say if you don't have paddles and you don't want to switch your loadout, try something like claw, because you can press square and X using claw in immediate succession, and you should still be able to do the movement. If you do go into third person, you can see just how high up this movement will get you when you do it properly. Like, it really does catapult you up in the air. And another thing to point out is that you can do this movement either stationary or moving. I think it's a lot easier to learn it stationary, just like horizontal zip like this, looking forward about eye level. But once you get comfortable, you can do it while you're moving. I do have a full tutorial on super jumping on zip lines that's more detailed. If you want to check that out, I'll link it up in the top of the screen now. Alright, so the next movement I'm going to discuss is super gliding. This is a pretty hard movement to get the hang of, to be honest, but I've gotten it pretty consistent at this point. I can get it like 1 out of 2, maybe 1 out of 3 times now, and I can do it pretty well. The key to doing this movement is timing. What you're going to want to do is approach a stack like this stack here in the firing range, climb, and as soon as you finish your climbing animation, hold jump and crouch together. Just as you finish your climbing animation, you're going to want to hold jump and crouch together. So climb, just as I'm finishing, hold jump and crouch together, and it should jolt you forward a little bit. It's kind of like, it's not always like you do it or you don't. Sometimes you do it a lot better and it gives you a lot more speed than other times. But the easiest way to tell when you're doing it correctly is to go into third person, like I've been doing for some of these other movements. And when you're in third person, if you do the super glide correctly, you'll see your legs totally straighten out and it'll jolt you forward with a lot of speed. And that's how you kind of know that you've done it correctly. So I'm in third person here, like in this clip, when you do it correctly, Wraith's legs totally kind of straighten and stiffen out and it just pulls you forward. That's how you know that you've done it correctly. That was a good one. Like, it sends you flying really far away from the stack. And once you get the hang of it, you can also do these kind of sideways super glides, like you'll see here. They're a little bit harder to get the hang of, but all you want to do for those is point your stick in the direction you want to go to. I've seen people do kind of backwards super glides and full sideways super glides as well. So I do think that start with the straight on movement, and once you get the hang of it, you can try some of the more advanced ones. So next up, the next movement I'm going to discuss is bunny hopping. And I do think this movement is kind of hard if you play crouch on toggle. It's much easier if you play crouch on hold. I have a whole video about why you should play crouch on hold. It increases your crouch spam speed, it gives you better control of your strafe and movement overall. It does take a while to get used to, but for bunny hopping, it's kind of a game changer. All you have to do is, if you have crouch on hold, is just hold, slide with some momentum in a certain direction, and then keep crouch held and just tap jump as soon as you hit the ground every time. I'd practice first just doing these kind of straight on bunny hops, and then once you get the hang of it, you can practice turning while you're bunny hopping, and that's when you really know that you've gotten the hang of it, and you can keep your momentum while you're turning. And again, with crouch on hold, it's really not that hard of a movement. So now on the screen, I'm just going to show in third person what the bunny hop looks like. I actually think it's kind of hard to bunny hop in third person. I think it's easier to do in first person. But sometimes it's helpful. Like, I think for a lot of these other movements, it's helpful to go into third person just to see what the movement looks like from someone else's perspective, like basically what it would look like in game if an enemy was trying to shoot you. But yeah, here's it in third person. That wasn't the greatest one, but again, you can still get some serious momentum if you have crouch on hold, and I definitely recommend trying that out. Alright, so finally on to the last movement, which is going to be the zipline dance. You're going to want to go up to a vertical zipline like this one in the range, and then just hold interact and spam jump multiple times as you go up the zip. It also helps to hold your left stick down as you're doing this, I've noticed. It kind of keeps you closer to the zip. And this one isn't too hard to get the hang of, but it does take some practice. I'll be coming out with a full movement tutorial on this, so stay tuned. But again, you're just going to hold interact and then spam jump as you're going up the zip. I'm still working on getting like full fine-tuned control as I'm going up zips with this sort of movement, but I will say I do think it is definitely useful, especially with how people play zips on PC. This is like the closest you can get on console. You can hit it 3 times going up a zip, and it can really give you some unpredictable movement. It's really hard to shoot you while you're toggling the zip like that. And this is it in third person, kind of the same idea. Again, you're just going to hold interact and spam jump as you go up the zip, and hold your left stick down as well. Alright, so that's going to about wrap it up for the movement guide. I hope it was helpful for you guys. Some of these movements just take a little while to learn, take some practice to get the timing down, especially the super glide. So I recommend just going in the range, figuring out the timing, you'll get it. If you guys want to stick around, it's a pretty solid gameplay. I think I dropped around a 3.1k with the Wingman. It's a fun one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Oh my god, he's so low.
Reloading. Tango down.
Massive, bro. Just
Give my shields a recharge.
yeah, I do. He's on this side. Yep, Mockinator. On this side now. So, God. They never nerfed him, man. Took his motherfucker's whip. Yo. Alright. The march is coming to you. That one better than expected. Octin. It's them. Oh my god, I got stuck. Me too.
Come on in.
Try to get behind them, bro. I'm coming, bro. I'm coming. Oh, no, they didn't push you. I'm taking the medkit. You take care of that, I guess. Oh, there's one near me. Oh, y'all are stupid. Oh, you're level 90s.
Double timing it.
He's so low, he's so slow. Better go in there. Crypto. kills on ping.
I see one of them. Kakaita.
Why did they stop too? Sleep. Oh, no wonder there's a guy right there. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're so good.
Recharging my shields.
Got it. Not too well. No quarter.
Give me a second. Fixing up.
Heads
Oh,
up.
he's in a team. Did you throw that? Did you throw that?
Recharging shields. Care
Oh,
package
they
incoming.
dipped.
Y'all
The
over
fuck?
this.
Oh, 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 oh.
Off the mic. You spotted.
These guys just dip, bro. How y'all finna dip after trying to third party? That don't make sense. Alright, there's one right here.
One right here.
Never mind, I guess he just ran with his teammate. Here, you climb first. Never mind.
Replicator being delivered.
Yeah, they probably are, man.
Yeah, replicate incoming.
Like all the way in the back. What are they doing? What? You're that scared? I know. No, they're right here.
Reloading. Confirmed kill. Oh, painless knocking at the door.
Hostage. Oh, they just turned my shit, bro.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Right here.
Double timing it.
Recharging my shields.
You could finish off the caustic too.